Sri Lanka's most powerful news brand.
A group of banking employees engaged in a protest in Colombo today.
The Ceylon Bank Employees Union demonstrated in this manner to protest the suspension of 7 employees. The protesters charge these employees have been suspended after an argument broke out between the trade unions and the upper management of the bank during a meeting. The protest began opposite the Lake House roundabout and continued towards the Ministry of Public Enterprise Development via the Lotus Road. A correspondent in the area stated heavy traffic was reported in the area as a result. The protesting banking employees dispersed after handing over an epistle containing their demands to an official of the Ministry of Public Enterprise Development. The rulers are suppressing the trade unions. They are slashing away the rights of the employees. They are doing this because the trade union leaders are rising up against the rights of the employees being slashed. They are not letting the trade unions hold meetings. They do not allow the trade unions to distribute the reviews. They are controlling all of this by issuing circulars. The rulers of the People's Bank are trying to suppress the trade union leaders who are rising against this.
The fast, which was launched by 32 trade unions attached to the Ceylon Electricity Board opposite the CEB head office in Colombo, entered its 4th day today.
Have we forgotten?
Prime Minister was aware Arjun Aloysius, son-in-law of Arjuna Mahendran, was CEO of Perpetual Treasuries when Mahendran was to be appointed as governor. Mahendran assures Prime Minister Aloysius will step down and will not be involved in PTL operations. Evidence reveals Aloysius continued to be de facto head of PTL from January 2015 to date and was directly involved in PTL operations. It was revealed Mahendran violated assurance given to the Prime Minister. Walt & Rowe Associates Private Limited, a legal firm which lists Arjun Aloysius as a director, paid the rent for former Finance Minister Ravi Karunanayaka's Monarch Residency penthouse-style apartment. Walt & Rowe Associates Private Limited is owned by Perpetual Capital Holdings and is a subsidiary of W.M. Mendis & Company Limited. The directors are Jeffrey J. Aloysius, Arjun Aloysius and Suren Muthuraja. The apartment was leased at a monthly rental of 1.45 million rupees. The lease agreement amounted to 7.3 million rupees, while an additional 1.4 million rupees was paid in cash. The former finance minister's wife introduced Aloysius to the owner of the apartment as the person who will be leasing out the apartment.
Have we forgotten?
Let's take a look at the structure of the Perpetual Group. Now, Perpetual Treasuries Limited is owned by Perpetual Asset Management. Perpetual Asset Management is owned by Perpetual Capital Holdings. And Perpetual Capital Holdings is owned by Perpetual Capital. Now, according to the evidence that has been placed before the Presidential Commission of Inquiry, the two sole beneficiaries or owners of this group are Arjun Aloysius and Jeffrey Aloysius. That means even though Arjun Aloysius resigned from the post of Chief Executive Officer from Perpetual Treasuries Limited, he can have a direct say or involvement with Perpetual Treasuries Limited. Now, this is also proven through evidence when he made a phone call on the 29th of March 2016 to Kasun Palisena on the day of the auction, instructing him how to bid at this auction. Now, in addition to that, let's take a look at the Monarch Residency apartment of former Finance Minister Ravi Karunanayaka. The witness who owned that apartment, we shall call her as W. Now, in her testimony, she said that the former Finance Minister's wife, who we will call MK, visited the apartment to inspect it and thereafter made a phone call to a certain individual. And after that individual came, the former Finance Minister's wife had introduced this individual to the owner of this apartment. Now, this individual who came is none other than Arjun Aloysius. And during this interaction, it was clear, and according to the evidence, the former Finance Minister's wife had told the owner of the apartment that Arjun Aloysius will be paying the rent for that Monarch Residency penthouse-style apartment. More revelations from the Bond Commission tomorrow. The tenure of the Presidential Commission of Inquiry into the bond issue will end in 17 days. The people await the decision of the Bond Commission.
The 2015 and 2016 bond scams, the biggest theft in Sri Lankan history. Who should be held responsible for this grand theft? Who caused millions and millions in losses to the country's state banks? Who stole EPF money, the wealth you earned with your own sweat and blood? Who bowed down to fraud and corruption and allowed this massive theft? The entire nation awaits the final report of the Presidential Commission of Inquiry on the issuance of Treasury bonds. The first to expose the bond scam, Newsfirst.